guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm back here at Ed Morris Mazda in Port Richey, Florida, because guess what? We have Mazda's largest sedan. This is the 2020 Mazda 6. This particular one is the Signature Series. But before we dive into this one, let's talk about what this car represents. So this is their mid-size sedan, obviously gunning for the big boys. It's going for the Honda Accord, that long-standing Honda Accord, the long-standing Toyota Camry, and of course, the other main competitor is going to be that Hyundai Sonata. What Mazda is promising to bring you is definitely some extra styling when it comes to their design philosophy, and on the interior, elevated premium touches, not only in the Signature Series, but across their whole trim lineup of all their models that they currently make. One thing is for certain, going the Signature Series route, you're gonna get those extra touches, but you're also gonna get some turbocharged goodness underneath the hood. So why don't we go ahead, let's dive into this Mazda 6. I like to call it the John Hancock edition, but technically it's called the Signature Series, and see if this is the way you should go rather than going, say, a Honda Accord Touring or a Camry XSE. Right off the bat, you'll see that very, very clean styling, no fake vents or anything fake on this Mazda 6. Another thing you'll notice, it's featured in that soul red color. This is basically the signature color of the Mazda brand. I love what they do with the headlight design. Very slim. You're gonna have LED headlights, LED daytime running lamps, and I love the way that they integrate it nicely into the chrome trim. Now, as we come down, nothing fake, everything's smooth. We go down a little bit lower, you're gonna have some chrome trim to match the top part. And then below here, you probably say, well, Joe, isn't that a fake vent? Negative, Ghost Rider. That actually is a functional air curtain, slim and trim across the bottom. I like touches like that. Thank you, Mazda. The chrome trim kind of dives into the grille area, almost like a half pipe. And one thing that's very interesting is that they take the design from the Mazda logo and actually put it into that chrome trim. I like this nice metallic black finish that they have on the grille design. You're gonna have a forward-facing camera on the Signature Series, and then we drop down, everything's painted. You have this flat black open area with a horizontal slot, but this whole lower portion of the front fascia from one side to the other is all painted. Another nice thing is the way the hood kind of slopes down, really gives it an aerodynamic, sleek look. And guess what? This hasn't been redesigned in quite some time. Get ready for that redesign because it's bringing some big things, but we're not going to talk about that yet. We're talking about this one. Getting up onto the hood, here's your clean lines. Bylines come up from the side, go into the hood, and that's it. That's all you need. You don't need a bunch of folds, creases. You're not making a paper airplane. We come around the bend. What are we working with? Wheel and tire setup. Nice, clean style wheels. So you have this multi-spoke wheel, 19-inch wheel. It's gonna be a 225 on the width, 45 series sidewall. Looks really sharp with the soul red. We go down the side. One of my favorite things on the Mazda 6, the current one, is how they take the body line, nice and rolled, and brings it right into the door. Of course, you're gonna get color matched mirror caps, LED turn signals, nice and slim and trim. And then you're gonna have chrome trim along the top and the bottom. This one does have a sunroof. One thing I wish they would do is just black out the roofs. Whenever there's a sunroof, or especially a panoramic sunroof, black out the roof. Maybe this should have a panoramic sunroof. We'll see when we get into the interior. A little bit of a sill extension, nothing too aggressive. But as we work our way back into that rear quarter window, a little bit of gloss black. The trim all the way extends into that rear pillar. And then when we get to the back, I like the way the Signature Series is set up. You're gonna get this nice trunklet spoiler that extends off the back of the trunk, that chrome trim that integrates with the taillights, just like the chrome trim integrates with the headlights up front. There's your signature badge. And then, of course, on all Mazdas, you get a nice dual exit outlet exhaust. And I'm really liking that nice, almost like a flat satin finish on this lower black trim. But why don't we go ahead, pop the hood and see what's powering this Mazda 6 Signature Series. All right, guys, we got the hood pop. Now, the bummer is, even on the Signature Series, we got a prop rod. I'm zonking that on this trim level. But the non-bummer, and definitely no zonks, is underneath that hood, you're looking at turbocharged power. So what are you looking at? Underneath that tasteful engine cover is a 2.5 liter inline four that's turbocharged. If you run premium fuel, you could get 250 horsepower, 310 pound-feet of torque. If you don't run premium fuel, you're looking at about 227 horsepower. The great news is it's all routed through a 6-speed automatic transmission. And if you're wondering, well, Joe, what kind of MPGs are we getting here? 23 in the city, 31 in the highway. The car weighs around 3,545 pounds, 0 to 60 in a brisk 6.3 seconds, and a top speed of 135 miles an hour. To me, this is really how the Mazda 6 and the Mazda 3 and pretty much all the other Mazdas should come. 2.5 liter turbocharged goodness, 250 horsepower. But why don't we go ahead, let's get to that interior and see what the Signature Series brings to the table. All right, guys, we're inside the 2020 Mazda 6 Signature Edition, or like I like to call it, the John Hancock. I know you're probably saying, well, Joe, how much is this? If it's got all these nice touches, turbocharged power, it's got to be pricey. You're looking at an MSRP right at $36,000, but I think you're going to be surprised with all the goodies that you get. Let's go to the door panel. Now, you are getting a beautiful two-tone motif. That's a dark chocolate brown and black. It's soft touch all across the top. You got real chestnut wood trim, not fake. They chopped the tree down, got you some chestnut. Love the stitch work on the armrest. Nice pocket for a Subway sub. You could probably get a 12-inch meatball sub, and it has the optional Bose sound system. We come to the dash, soft touch, more chestnut. Roast those chestnuts because we got the wood trim, silver. Look at this soft touch. I love this. Almost looks like an old baseball mitt, like in a good way. Stitch work is spot on the money. We get to the infotainment. Now this is where it's gonna be a little dated because this hasn't been majorly redesigned in a little while. Now you have your start stop button, which may seem weird to have it here, but it's so easy to obviously see and get to. You have your 8-inch infotainment system. Is it touchscreen? Yes, it is. You have your navigation and whatnot, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. It is that older rainbow style. Now you can touch the screen or you could use a direct drive knob if you want to. Let me throw her into reverse. You can see your backup camera. It's a little bit grainy there, but nothing too crazy. You have your 360 all the way around, which is really wonderful. And you could go back to going normal and put it back in the park, and we're right back. So you have some silver trim, a little bit of gloss black. Love this soft touch. I could touch this all day long. Drop down, dual climate control, and then get ready for this. Heated steering wheel, heated seats, and ventilated seats. Thank you, Mazda. You have a nice large pocket down here where you could put some circus peanuts. Maybe you got a couple hundred grand bars that you have laying around. You can put them in there. There's your upgraded Mazda key fob. Sort of looks like a Zippo lighter. Nice and light though. Not gonna stab yourself right in the groin. You could pop the trunk. You even got your panic button. It's got an exclamation mark for it. Panic. This is controlling that 6-speed automatic transmission. A little bit of gloss black, but the way it's sunken in, you're really not gonna touch it. Love the stitch work though. Look at this, soft. Soft as a baby's butt. This is Nappa leather. Nappa, flown in. Here's your direct drive knob to control the different functions of that rainbow selector for your infotainment system. I like the sliding cup holder lid that they have here, 2 cup holders. Close that back up, super soft on the armrest. Lift it up, you have felt lining. So that means you could put your family crown jewels or the family jewels in there. I personally wouldn't put my own family jewels in there, but you could put them in there. Won't get scratched. You get a 12 volt, 2 USBs, and an aux jack. Seats, Nappa leather soft stitch work. A little bit of chrome trim, looks really tasteful. Perforated, nice and wide. And did I say they're soft? Full power adjustment for the passenger and the driver. And then up top, you're gonna get that standard size sunroof, which is a nice welcome addition, and a frameless auto dimming mirror, which you know how I feel about those. Coming over though to the business end, I wanna show you behind the wheel of this Mazda 6 Signature. All right guys, business time. You have your seat controls, easy to get to, 2 memory seat settings, which is really nice. Steering wheel, like the thickness. Stitch work is spot on. I wish it was contrast stitching though, but that's so low on the totem pole of zonks. A little bit of silver trim, very tasteful horn button, slim and trim on the spokes. All the buttons are flat black. You do have 2 plastic paddles on the back of the steering wheel to go up and down that 6-speed automatic transmission. Head-up display, and the dash is so clean and clear. You have your analog tach. In the center, you actually have your digital speedometer, which is really nice, and then you could toggle through different information on that selector. And then of course you're gonna have your analog coolant gauge and fuel gauge very, very conveniently placed. But I'm telling you, the room in here is great. I got plenty of headroom. Let's get to that back seat and see how your passengers are gonna like this John Hancock of all Mazda 6s. All right, guys, back seat time. And the great news is that you got plenty of room back here. Now, I did not move the seats at all. Even the driver's seat, that is a little further back just because I'm 6 feet tall, but you can see nice soft leather. You have a little bit of silver trim, pockets for both people. So you're not gonna have to squeeze your Twinkies. You can put your Abacus in there. You got your 2 AC vents, nice and slim. The silver trim is very nice. And I know you're probably saying, well, Joe, there's no USB. Watch this. Pull that down. Not only is it soft, you got heated seats, 2 cup holders, and then get ready for this one. 1, 2, 3, boom. Felt lining, so you're not gonna scratch the color off your Skittles, and you got your USB. Mazda has you covered. Let's go ahead and check out that trunk and see how much room you have in the Mazda 6. All right, guys, time to pop the trunk and see what we can fit. You just hit the button, real simple. Lift it up, it's not electric assist. Nice wide opening though, I'm happy to see that. Seats are gonna do a 60-40 split. You have 2 nice compartments on the side to put those emergency Twinkies back here so nobody gets hangry as they're driving with you. There's nothing worse than a passenger that's hangry, or the passengers would probably say there's nothing worse than a driver that's hangry, but the heck with Twinkies. Right now, why don't we go ahead, if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's take this Mazda 6 with a turbo for a spin. All right, guys, we just left Ed Morse Mazda. We're in the 2020 Mazda 6 Signature Edition. I have it in sport mode, real easy to do. You just flip that switch right by the shifter, and that's gonna adjust, like I said, how the engine and transmission communicate with one another and behave. Right away, you feel really great behind the wheel of this Mazda 6, especially with this one being the signature trim, because the materials are even elevated higher. Now, if you don't go signature, don't think you're gonna get some stripped down, bare bones, nothing. You're actually still gonna get a great experience. It's just the Nappa leather, the chestnut trim. I mean, it really elevates the overall feel. Seats are some of the best in the business. Not only the size of the actual seat cushion, both bottom and back, but the softness. It's a perfect blend of being soft for comfort, but also being firm enough to support your body so that you're not like sitting in a waterbed of a seat. Let me go ahead, let's do a little acceleration test towards this dead end, just to give you an idea of what the turbocharged power, 250 horsepower, is all about. So on throttle, drops down, you actually break some traction, and you are off and running. Great sound coming into the cabin, and super smooth shifts from the transmission. I also really dig the overall feel that you get behind the wheel of any Mazda product, especially this Mazda 6. All right, guys, let's do another acceleration test and see how this handles through a little left-right transition. On throttle, you do break traction, then the traction control reins are in on the brakes. I'm telling you, the handling of this Mazda 6 is really great, and I love the fact that it has a 6-speed automatic transmission, and 250 horsepower is nothing to laugh at. Really nice amount of power compared to the weight and the size of the vehicle. Going over ripped up sections, it soaks up the bumps. Super smooth, very quiet in the cabin as well. That's another thing to be aware about. If you're concerned about the infotainment system screen being in your way, it's actually integrated nicely into this top portion of the dash area and really is not cumbersome or blinds your view whatsoever. You got your head-up display. All it shows is your speed and your lane keep assist, but still a nice little touch to have. Visibility out the back is excellent. Side mirrors work fantastic. And I just love all the different elements to this interior. Especially for the people even sitting in the back are really gonna enjoy all the fine touches and the connectivity. I guess the only thing that's missing at this trim level would be wireless charging. But I really feel that you're gonna get that plus more when that redesign comes very, very soon. Weight to the steering feels great. Balanced chassis. Mazda did their homework. And believe it or not, on any given weekend across the country, there are more Mazdas on racetracks than any other brand. Look it up. I guarantee it. Guys, getting out on the highway on throttle. Great sound coming into the cabin. Nothing buzzy. It actually sounds like you're in a V6, to be honest with you. And getting up to speed is real simple. Drives very, very nice and smooth. Suspension does exactly what it needs to do for that given moment. And where everything's located in here makes total sense. But hopefully this gave you a nice overview of what the Mazda 6 is all about. We're gonna go ahead, get back to Ed Morse Mazda and wrap this up, so I'll see you in a split second. All right guys, been another great day here at Ed Morse Mazda. Definitely gotta thank Quentin and the rest of the crew getting us this Mazda 6 Signature Series. What can I say? If you are looking for a mid-size car, you got a hard decision to make because there is some big competition, but you know what? Mazda, even though this Mazda 6 has not been majorly redesigned in a few years, is bringing it when it comes to the fit and finish, quality of materials, nice sleek design, and all that connectivity that you need and want. But if it's mid-sized cars like these that you want to keep seeing on Rady's Rise, leave a comment in the comment section. If you're new and you're on your way out, hit the subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Rady's Rise family. If you want to help us keep making great content just for you on the channel, click the link in the description. Get yourself some Rady's Rise merch. Gotta give it up to Big Guns McGee, Tom Moschner. He's saying Accord. I think after this, we're gonna arm wrestle. He'll probably beat me, but oh well. Thank you, Tom, for your hard work. And just like always, I'll see you on the next ride.